It's Night of the Podcast.
Welcome, horror fiends, to Night of the Podcast, a one-man horror show where I, Brian, talk to you about all things spooky, creepy horror, and Halloween-related. Today I'm going to be talking about the 2017 movie directed by Patrick Brice, a follow-up, actually, to Creep 2, starring Mark Duplass. So Creep and Creep 2. Those are some movies that are out there. I think they're both currently on Netflix. And I decided to finally sit down and go ahead and watch Creep 2. I saw Creep 1, or Creep, a few years back when it came out. And I wasn't overly impressed with it. I really wasn't. I know a lot of people liked it and were like, oh my gosh, Creep is an amazing movie. It's so damn good. And I didn't understand why. I still don't understand why so many people like it. It's not a bad movie by any means, and I'm not saying it's a bad movie because, like I just said, it's not. But I didn't enjoy it as much as a lot of other people did. So going into Creep 2, I didn't have very high expectations because I wasn't blown away by the first. And with that being said, I went into it and I enjoyed it for the most part. Now, I feel that it is better than the first one. I still don't feel that it's a great movie. I think it's still flawed in a lot of ways. There's things that I don't like about it and things that I like about it pretty much, like every movie. But overall, it's a pretty decent flick. The cast is slightly larger. I know the first one only had 2 people in it, which was Mark Duplass and Patrick Brice. So the director and Mark were both in that movie. But this one has, I think, 6 people in it total. You really only focus on 2 people, but there are a total of, I believe, 6 people in this one. Now, some of my biggest problems with the first one, my biggest problem with the first one, without giving anything away, is the ending of Creep. I didn't really care for it that much. I thought it was very unrealistic in a movie that otherwise felt realistic. The ending kind of took me out of it. And if you've seen the movie, then you might know why I'm saying this. If you haven't seen Creep, then you should probably go see it before seeing Creep 2, or you should watch it, I should say, not go see it. Just if you have Netflix, turn it on and go ahead and add it to your queue and give it a view. It's definitely worth seeing. And with that being said, the second one is as well. Both movies are carried by Mark Duplass or Duplass. I don't know exactly how to pronounce his name. If you've been with me on this show before, then you know I'm just a magician with names. It could be one thing 1 minute and then disappear and gone, and now it's something else another minute. But anywho, so he's the main character in these movies. He is the so-called, I guess, creep. Or is he a creep and he's creeping? Or what is the meaning behind creep exactly? Is he a jerk, or is it something spooky and creepy in that aspect? It's kind of all tied into one, but I'm getting off point there. Mark carries both of the movies, and he is a really good actor. The thing that I dig, especially about the second one, is there's a lot of long takes. So you have a couple minutes of Mark kind of talking to the camera and these really long sections of dialogue, which I enjoy. And he does a very good job of delivering the dialogue and in some places making you feel pretty uncomfortable about what's being said and what's, actually taking place. So, now that I've kind of said that, I should have done this in the beginning, but Creep 2 is just more of the same thing. It's a girl who is she does YouTube videos. She's trying to start a YouTube channel and get a following. And basically, she goes and interviews people who post on Craigslist or weird sites and just kind of have odd requests, and that's her YouTube channel. And then she comes across the ad posted by Mark Duplass's character and asking, to come record him for a day. Monetary value is X amount, and she takes it up on that. And I believe in the ad, it says you must be a fan of Interview with the Vampire. And they go into that a little bit in the dialogue later when she's chatting with him. But, that's like the premise. She goes and then weird stuff happens. at his house. Again, like I said, Mark Duplass does a really good job of acting in this film. There are some weird takes. There are some things that maybe I would have cut being a director. Some of the dialogue is kind of corny. I don't know if it was actually all written out or if it was improv. I'd be curious to find that out. If you know, go ahead and leave a comment below, and you can get in on this conversation. But that's something that I should probably look up and should have done, and I apologize for not doing so. So that's basically the movie and what happens. There's again, if you watch it, it's not a very long movie. I think it's about 120 minutes or so, give or take, and it's worth a watch. Warning, though, if you are offended by male nudity, don't hang out with me. But seriously, there is male nudity in the movie, so if a penis offends you, I don't know why it would. But if you're offended by penises, just, flopping about, then don't watch Creep 2. It's not a very long scene, but there is a penis. There's also a relatively fast shot of boobies, so there is nudity in this movie, just so you note. The gore, if there is any, I'm not going to, well, whatever. The gore is not over the top, but it is a little violent. I mean, the movie is called Creep, and it's about a guy that, if you've seen the first one, oh, forget it. I'm not going to say it. So one of the weird things about Creep and Creep 2 is that the guy wears a wolf mask that he calls Peach Fuzz, is I guess the character's name. When he puts on the wolf mask, he becomes Peach Fuzz, and it's a little weird. It's whatever. It's one of those little things in the movie that adds to the character. I don't fully understand it, but I guess it's, his thing. So whatever. It's just kind of like your standard wolf mask you'd find in a Spirit Halloween or any other costume shop. And it's just one of the little things that adds to this movie. So overall, Creep 2 is a relatively enjoyable flick. It's better than the first. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give Creep 2 6 out of 10 Peach Fuzzes. It's on Netflix right now. If you've seen the first, watch it. You don't really have to have seen the first to enjoy the second, but if you have seen the first or you go ahead and watch it, you'll understand a couple of the things, I should say, that happen. So go ahead and give it a view. Let me know what you think. And that's really all I have for this episode. You can always email me at nightofthepodcast@gmail.com. You can follow me on the Facebook page at Night of the Podcast, or you can follow me, Brian, personally on Instagram at xxhalloweenxx. Please be sure to like the page and even subscribe to the YouTube channel at Night of the Podcast, or by clicking the button here or here, wherever it is. I don't know. I throw it up randomly. So go ahead and click it and subscribe. And again, thank you everyone for watching. Until next time, good night, good fright. Be careful what lurks when you turn out the lights.